I'm Anelise Borges and you're watching Tech24. Coming up on the program, India votes, and we look at how social media is changing the rules of the game in the world's largest democracy. And the internet's biggest security flaw to date, Heartbleed, may have exposed users' personal information and passwords for the past 2 years. Indians are heading to the polls. More than 814 million eligible voters will choose their members of parliament and governors in a drawn-out process due to last 6 weeks. And the battle for a better, more transparent democracy has a new dimension, thanks to social media.
India's 16th general election will be closely fought, and social media is playing a vital role in determining which party wins the most seats. During the 2009 ballot, Facebook and Twitter use in the country was, to say the least, small. It's a different India today, though. Facebook just passed the 100 million user mark. In a celebratory move, it launched a new feature developed specially for the world's biggest election. Facebook users in India can now update their status after casting their ballot with the new I'm a voter. By clicking the button, they're able to post a story to their timeline, sharing with friends that they voted. India has the third largest internet user base in the world with 239 million users. And most of the candidates in this election have reached out to voters online. The opposition candidate Narendra Modi tweets regularly to his 3.7 million followers. His party, the BJP, has generated over 68 million page views on Google Plus and has 12 million likes on Facebook. Far behind, the Congress Party's undeclared candidate for PM, Rahul Gandhi, doesn't have a website and doesn't use any of the three major social networks. Some analysts are doubtful, however, about the real impact of social media in rural areas where internet access is scarce and large parts of the population are illiterate. Rallies, billboards and newspaper ads still play a big part to reach the majority of the 814 million strong electorate.
And let's now go to Mumbai to join Mahesh Murthy, the founder of Pinstorm, a big data analytics company. Mahesh, your agency is used by some of India's biggest companies to monitor what is being discussed online. And now you have political parties as clients. What kind of work are you doing for them?
So we do a couple of kinds of work. One, a lot of work that we do is basic analytical work. So every day from the open web, we pick up every single day over 50,000 pieces of chatter about the three main parties, the BJP, the AAP and the Congress. And every single day we're analyzing them for what is trending, what is not, what's the sentiment score. That's one very broad level of analytical data. Secondly, the thing that we've been asked to do in specific constituencies is to say, look, can you go and, in fact, yesterday we got a request from somebody saying, okay, look at these three constituencies and tell me which is the most winnable. Where is the chatter most friendly towards my party? So we're doing constituency level and analytics to be able to advise parties and politicians on, if not whether they should contest there or not, but at least to be able to say, well, that's what's happening in your particular constituency or in that particular region. So it's mostly technical support work that we do for these parties, which is really to be able to figure out what's happening, who's saying what they should watch out for.
Now, according to the latest census data, there are more mobile phones in India today than toilets. And candidates have also explored that tool in order to get closer to voters. Mr. Narendra Modi's team developed a tool which allows for voters to listen to his speeches in real time from anywhere in India. And WhatsApp was also heavily used during the campaign. Talk to us about the role of mobile phones in this election.
In fact, they are the tools today. We have almost 1 billion mobile connections in India, but that's a little misleading because many of these connections are lapsed and many people have more than one connection. There are still about 600 million mobile phone users in India, active mobile phone users in India, and that's an enormous number. And out of these 600 million, about 120 or 130 million have data connections already out there. Which is a largish number. But to put this in perspective, the most powerful tool on the mobile phone today is not so much anything whiz-bang that you can do with data and video and so on and so forth, but it's actually simple SMS and voice. In fact, SMS has been a little constrained in India because the regulator has put a limit on spamming using SMSs. So what the parties are doing is a lot of automated call-outs using voice, voice and interactive voice response systems. So the voice is still the best, most potentially powerful facility on mobile today, followed by SMS. And then when you come to the 130 million people who have data, you then have the ability to do WhatsApp and Facebook and everything else that you can do out there. And I think the AAP has been among the parties to really recognize that. They ran a lot of their elections given that they have no money and they're almost blacked out by the mainstream media, which is kind of sort of in some ways monopolized by a large businessman who has ties with one leading party. The AAP actually used voice and SMS and data extremely effectively in actually winning the Delhi, not winning, but in winning 28 seats in the Delhi state elections. And that gave them a springboard to be able to try within, the party is not even 1 year old. And it's now trying to actually be on a national stage. It's competing in more than 420 of the 540 constituencies in India. I don't think they're going to win them all, but I think that's really, it's really interesting that a data-driven, young, agile, low-cost, word-of-mouth party has come up in this country, which is very traditionally big business, big media, big newspaper, big money. It has always been that kind of an environment. So I think this year is really going to be the tipping point in politics. By the time of the next elections in 2019, you'll see much more of this happening. But I think it's really interesting that it's happening here, it's happening now in the world's largest apparent democracy. For the first time, apparently democracy can happen because of digital media.
Now, what do you have to say to analysts who think the disadvantage of the growing use of social media in politics is that rumors and misinformation can spread quickly and have a negative or unfair impact? Is there a way to prevent that kind of thing?
So actually, the prevention in this case is worse than the cure because the only way to prevent it is large-scale censorship. But however, thankfully, the social media has a built-in mechanism that just as fast as you spread a rumor, equally fast does the rebuttal of the rumor happen online. So while rumors can swing for a day or half a day or within hours or within minutes, people are able to come up and rebut it. So it's a healthy organic system that's out there. I actually fear having a mechanism that can control rumors because that takes the social out of social media entirely. It becomes kind of controlled media at that point.
Morty, thank you so much for joining us today. And now in other news, a major security flaw at the heart of the internet may have exposed users' personal information and passwords for the past 2 years. It's not known how widely the bug has been exploited by hackers or if it has been exploited at all. But what is clear is that this is one of the biggest security issues the internet has faced to date. Liam Boger joins me now. Liam, what do we need to know?
Well, thanks, Anelise, for having me here. What you need to know is that 2/3 of the internet has been affected by what is largely considered to be the biggest security oversight in likely the history of the internet. Basically, the standard for security encryption when sending information like user data, passwords, logins, and things like that had a flaw for at least for at least 2 years. And people are only just now realizing it. Everything from Facebook to Gmail to WordPress to probably everything you use on a daily basis. Anything that puts that little lock in the top left of your browser that tells you that you're safe was not as safe as they thought.
So what websites have been affected?
Well, as I said, big websites, Facebook, Gmail, WordPress again, mainly. This was an open source standard for security encryption. So while there were alternatives to using it, what is called is OpenSSL, and the part of OpenSSL was called Heartbeat, which referred to the small amounts of data being sent in a sort of rhythmic fashion across the security network. It was breached. It was flawed, hence being called Heartbleed and for the Heartbeat part. And essentially, everyone used this. If you're a developer building something today, you were probably building it. And while companies are pushing patches, it's not really easy to tell who's been compromised and who hasn't.
And what should we do about it then?
Well, that's one of the big problems. Until everyone has pushed a patch to it, changing your password will only give anyone who might still be listening in access to your new password. Most people are recommending today, if you want, change your password today, but also change it in a week, change it maybe in 2 weeks as well. And that's probably the best way to stay safe.
All right, so for now, we shouldn't really do anything and just wait until there are new announcements? Is that it?
Yeah, keep an eye on it. Look in. I changed my password today. I'll probably change it again in a week, and just be vigilant. See if there's any unusual activity happening.
All right, well, thanks for that, Liam. And we're going to make sure to keep an eye on that story for you. But for today, that's all we have time for. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Tech24. You can get in touch with us on Facebook or on Twitter. Our hashtag, Tech24. And we leave you today with images of Cupid. The chaotic unmanned personal intercept drone is an experiment that Chaotic Moon Studios unveiled this year at a South by Southwest Interactive Festival. The drone comes equipped with the ability to shoot taser darts and target suspects with a laser sight. The studio has not revealed plans to make the drone commercially available. Thanks for watching. Stay with us here on France 24.